Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We will present about Group Assignment 3 Disable Accessible Project Design and Charter. We are from class BA2474C and our group member is Ahmad Fikri, Muhammad Nazim, Muhammad Fidaus, which is me, Muhammad Alif, Nurin Afrina and Yasmin Shamimi. Let's start with project purpose and justification. Why exactly we do this project? According to the World Health Organization, WHO, there is about 15% of disabled people around the world. Based on the number of total disabled population, the number can be increased on the living in the cities due to the high and rapid technology in the rural and growth areas. Our purpose is accessibility for all. We want to ensure that our design is a perfect disabled accessible city for all citizens and especially for disabled citizens. Next is project description, as we design based on preference and creativity. Our city, namely as Gerbang Wawasan, is the project for our disabled accessible city. You can see 2D Gerbang Wawasan city on the picture above. This city is designed based on the clustering of creative people and diversity that drives key advance in arts, culture and technology. Gerbang Wawasan City has 4 different sectors. The first sector is industrial sector that consists of a hydroelectric dam that generates electricity by converting potential and kinetic energy from water to electrical energy. Second is the power station, that is a storage of electrical power that supply power to the city. As you can see on the right side of the picture, there is a metal rolling plant that produce and supply metal, while on the left side is a farming factory that stores and produce foods. The last building in industrial sector is water treatment plant that purify and supply water to the city. The second sector is institution that includes university to produce professional worker or student, primary and high school to educate students under 18 years old, police station to maintain public order and safety, fire station to respond in any emergency situation, and as a hibernation center to promote and support trade, industry, arts and crafts. And the last building is the court to solving any cases that happen in the city.
For commercial area, firstly is mall. There are concert provided and few shops on the rooftop of the mall. The disabled person parking also provided near to the main entrance. Secondly is the sports center. There is stadium, tennis court, basketball court, swimming pool and boxing court provided. Next is the hospital to provide medical care to patients who in need. Bank is to deposit the money. The railway station that has 4 train stations near to stadium, university, school and airport. The function of the airport is to transport passengers to another city. Next is hotel, which is to provide lodging for guests. And lastly, park for the purpose of leisure, entertainment and recreational pursuits. The last sector is residential area. There are condominium service for thousands of people to live in that city. The skyscraper building that can be used for any function. And lastly, single estate for exclusive people that use solar power in the house.
In order to make it easier for people who live in our city, especially people with special needs, to travel within the city, we have come up with mobile applications and special facility. Firstly, we have created a mobile application called Blind Square, which is a seeing eye GPS that will immediately let the user know their current location by identifying the nearest street address. This application will help visually impaired people to navigate through the city. Secondly, We also have a voice recorder application that can assist visually impaired people to read anything that contains text, such as signboards, maps, and more. They can even use the application for their daily life. This will make it easier for these people to travel or move around the city. Moreover, this application will have 20 and more different languages. Lastly, there will be an autopilot bus which will transport the passengers, especially people who live in our city, from one point of destination to another. Since the bus will only travel within the city, our buses will follow a fixed schedule and will always be on time. There will be staff near the bus stops to help assist disabled people to get into and out of the bus.
Okay, next we go to the project objective and criteria. The objective that we want to achieve at Gerbang Wawasan is first successfully developed. There are 5 project lifecycle phases that are equally important, which are planning and design, construction and execution, monitoring, control and completion. The success of a project is determined by the smooth and uninterrupted development of all above phases. Second is given constraint. Our main goal of the project is to be completed within the estimated time frame while maintaining the expected quality. Third is inclusive, secure, resilient and long-lasting. We envision a future which all citizens have access to basic services, housing, energy, transportation and other amenities.
Now, let's talk about requirement of the project. Cities that promote human diversity, social inclusion and equality. It is becoming more important to build cities that value diversity, inclusion, and equality. People are socially included in these cities and they have equal access to services and employment. This type of cities planning demonstrated that planners are considering all of the population's needs. A city that is inclusive is one in which everyone has access to everything and feels empowered to do so. As a result, people of all abilities have a better chance of living independently. Second point is developing cities with a good accessibility. In order for cities to be inclusive, they must be accessible. If accessible and inclusive cities are built, global agreements with disability rights will be a huge success. People with disabilities are further marginalized if cities are poorly planned and designed. Cities are under a lot of pressure to be inclusive and accessible, and planners are under a lot of pressure to do so. If housing, transportation, education, employment, health services and information technology are not accessible to people with disabilities, they face discrimination. This exclusion results in fewer opportunities for education, employment and political participation. People with disabilities, their families, and community who live in well-planned cities are happier socially and financially. Last but not least, ambitious municipalities willing to invest are required. A large number of investors are required if the municipality is developing or planning to develop a disabled accessible city strategy. This is an opportunity of investment that will pay off in the future. This is not the case for all cities and local governments who are worried of taking the lead in the project that could end up being nothing more than visions. When it comes to passing in the end-to-end disabled accessible city solution simulation, we are still at the beginning. Municipalities will gain an advantage in the expertise needed to move towards becoming a disabled accessible cities if they can attract some of the best minds by demonstrating that they are forward-thinking and willing to invest.
So for our project timeline, in this city, we are planning to developing a concept with a network of open spaces and wide boulevards for the healthy environment for the citizens. So with the cost with almost 150 billion ringgit, we have started our project on 19 April 2021 with 3 simple phases. So on the first phase, we are more focusing a lot on to the researches, the permitting and the diligence. So this is where some of the steps that we must follow in order to complete a full planning design. such as market analysis, option of buying land, site and building plans, and many more. And then we have provided some of the investors to invest and create the trustworthy between us so that we can proceed into the phase 2 with only a few years after the phase 1. So in the phase 2, this is where the construction starts. We have planned to start off with basic equipment, the basic and important places for a city, such as workplaces, main buildings, utilities, and infrastructure like roads and many more. And by 2025, we will expect it to target to open to the citizens to experience themselves about this new developed urban disabled accessible city. 5 years after that, we will expect to complete the construction of all buildings and we can start operating for the old people. So on phase 3, which is our final phase, we will complete the construction of the bridge, which we will connect with the other cities for either for the business or the commercial purpose, and that will be the end of the project. So that's all from us. Assalamualaikum and thank you for listening.